Hello, I am Vachaspati Bimali. In this video, I am going to offer you a reliable strategy for the IELTS speaking module. I have noticed that most of you are anxious about the taking IELTS test. What a shame! Don't be nervous about the IELTS speaking test. It is the easiest and shortest module in the exam. The IELTS speaking test takes 11 to 14 minutes, while reading and writing tests take 60 minutes each. So, don't be afraid of speaking. It is the simple part of the IELTS. The examiner is there to help you, guide you, and make you feel comfortable. The IELTS speaking module is the easiest as it is taken individually. Let me explain that the IELTS speaking test that consists of 3 parts, Part 1, Part 2 and Part 3. Part 1 covers basic speaking skills, Part 2 intermediate skills, and Part 3 is advanced. Now, I will share you a practical plan that will significantly help you achieve an excellent score on the IELTS speaking test. I am 100% confident that if you follow the IELTS speaking tips provided in this video, you will definitely reach your desired score. In IELTS speaking part 1, the examiner will ask you some simple questions based on familiar everyday topics. In this section, you should provide personal information and express your opinions on these topics. Part 1 tests your ability to speak freely about general subjects. The examiner will not ask you questions based on history or science, such as who was the first president of the USA or who invented the computer. This is not a quiz program. It is the IELTS speaking test. So, the questions will be about familiar topics and will be very straightforward. Let me tell you about 70% of questions you encounter in the IELTS speaking test are in simple present tense. What I would like to tell you here, you should study 3 to 4 different tenses thoroughly and deeply. When your examiner asks, do you, they want to know what you currently do. If they ask, what do you do? They are asking the way you do something. Where do you? It means they are asking for the place where you do something. How often do you? It means they are asking about the frequency of your actions. When they ask, why do you? They want to know the reasons behind your actions. When your examiner asks you questions in the simple present tense, you should answer using the same tense and not the present continuous tense. I have conducted numerous IELTS mock test classes where students from all over Nepal attend my physical sessions. What I want to highlight here is that IELTS test takers often respond in the present continuous tense when the examiners ask questions in the simple present tense. For instance, when the examiner asks questions, how often do you text to your relatives and friends? Here, the students don't notice the simple present tense and instead reply, most of the time I am texting my close friends. Similarly, when asked, what do you do in your spare time? They again make the same mistake responding with, well, I am doing different activities. Sometimes I am visiting charitable organizations. Sometimes I am going to theaters with my colleagues. Sometimes IELTS examiner can ask questions like, would you prefer? Why do you want to visit Paris? Why would you like to visit Paris? Would you be interested in visiting some religious sites? Could you explain why you enjoy hiking? There are many books available in the market for IELTS speaking preparations. First, I strongly recommend the official Cambridge books to IELTS. This book includes valuable resources and practice materials for the IELTS speaking and is published by the same organization that creates the IELTS exam. Additionally, you can purchase IELTS Speaking Advance by Pulling Cullen, a well-respected author in this field. Two other distinguished authors, Mark Griffiths and Daniel Mila, have also written excellent books. Mark Griffiths authored IELTS Speaking Masterclass, while Daniel Mila wrote IELTS Speaking Success. Both books are highly regarded. If you are in Nepal, I suggest buying the IELTS book compiled by Yuvraj Sharma. This comprehensive guide covers all IELTS modules in detail and is published by Asia Publications. I have personally read this book and found it very useful. Another noteworthy author is Kiran Preet Makhar, a gynecologist by profession who has written an impressive IELTS book. I hold her in high esteem as one of India's exceptional writers. Her books are freely available on the internet and provide fantastic insights into all IELTS modules. I have also prepared some useful tips to help you achieve your desired score. I am available to assist you in any way possible. You can email me or call me on my cell phone. I will respond to your calls at my convenience and reply to your emails if time permits. In part 1, you should avoid giving irrelevant answers. Instead, provide relevant and concise responses. For example, if your IELTS examiner asks, what do you do? You should not respond with a simple explanations like, well, different people do different things for survival. The Prime Minister runs the country. Police officers provide security. Teachers educate. For instance, if asked, in your country, do people feel that their name is important? You could respond, yes, people in my country pay great attention to their names because they believe that their names will bring them good fortune. Sometimes they even change their names for business or family reasons. Let me give you another tip. When you take the IELTS speaking test, talk to the examiner as if you are conversing with a friend. In part 1, provide a direct answer and then add 1 or 2 reasons to support. If you follow these tips, you can achieve your desired score, even a 9 in the speaking module. It is also important to know that IELTS examiner evaluates your speaking based on following criteria. Number 1, fluency and coherence. Number 2, lexical resources. Number 3, grammatical range and accuracy. Number 4, pronunciation. Fluency refers to the ability to speak smoothly and continuing without excessive pausing or hesitations and at a natural pace. Some people believe that speaking quickly equates to fluency, but true fluency is not just about speaking fast, it is about communicating your thoughts effectively. Coherence, on the other hand, involves presenting information in an apprehensible manner, ensuring that your ideas flow logically from one to next so that the listener can easily follow your thoughts. Okay, when you take the IELTS speaking test, the examiner will record your voice. Here is how your examiner evaluates your score in the speaking module. They assess different criteria such as fluency and coherence, lexical resources, grammatical range and accuracy, and pronunciation is out of 9 points. After scoring each criterion, they sum up the scores and divide by 4 to get your final score. For example, if you score 7, 6, 8 and 7 in fluency and coherence, lexical resources, grammatical range and accuracy, and pronunciation, respectively, they will add these scores and divide by 4. The result, which is 7, will be your final score. Now, let me explain how you can become fluent in English. Fluency improves when you repeatedly talk about the same topic. If I ask you to describe your hometown today, tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow, you will find it difficult at first, but gradually you will speak more comfortably and fluently. The best way to develop fluency is to build relationship with English native speakers and live in an English speaking country for a couple of years. Here is another interesting fact about language. Language is not taught, it is caught. Now let's move on to speaking part 2, which we call the cue card section. Typically, examiners present the cue card in the simple present tense, though occasionally some cards might involve future tense. It's very good idea to learn all the tenses before you take the IELTS speaking test. Okay, I have noticed in IELTS class that most students do not use compound sentences when answering the examiner's questions. It is very important to remember that using more compounds can lead to a better score in the IELTS speaking module. Now, let's discuss what a compound sentence is. A compound sentence combines two or more independent clauses. For example, I enjoy traveling to different countries and I love experiencing new cultures. In this sentence, and is the coordinating conjunction which has joined two clauses. In the IELTS speaking part 2, you will be given a cue card. First, you should identify the topic and decide what you are going to say. Determine the tense your examiner expects you to use and prepare to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. The cue card will also provide 4 bullet points to help you organize your answer logically and connect your ideas smoothly. Here, I would like to present a few questions that an examiner may ask in IELTS speaking part 2. For example, number 1, describe a job you would not like to do in the future. Number 2, describe a place you have recently visited. Number 3, describe a person you admire. Number 4, describe a gift someone has given you. Number 5, describe a place you would not like to visit in the future. Now, let me explain how you should respond to the examiner. Let's take the last question from the list. Describe a place you would not like to visit in the future. You need to mention which place it is and why you would not like to visit there. Explain each bullet point step by step. Did you get me? Are you getting me? One important thing to keep in mind that you will not always get reality-based questions like describe a gift someone has given you. If you get this type of questions, you should not say to the examiner, I have not received a gift from someone yet. And you should not add, neither do I give gifts to anybody, nor do I expect from anyone. If you don't know how to answer the question, do not respond like this and do not tell them, I can't answer this question. Would you mind asking me another question? They will not change the question for you. For your safety, you should prepare as many cue cards as possible. If you get a cue card like this, describe a person you admire. You could start your answer like this. One person I greatly admire is Nelson Mandela. He was a renowned leader and first black president of South Africa. Mandela is admired worldwide for his incredible courage and dedication to fighting racial inequality. His unwavering commitment to justice and equality has inspired millions of people around the world, including me. In speaking part 2, when the examiner shows you the cue card, you will see the main topic. After reading the main topic, you need to write an outline. Look at the bullet points and write your sub outlines. Remember, your outlines should be brief and do not need to be complete sentences. When you start responding cue card, you can glance at your outline for a few seconds to organize your ideas logically. Your outlines should consist of keywords such as verbs, adjectives, and nouns rather than complete sentences. These key points will help you elaborate during your speaking part 2. To practice and improve your English proficiency, I recommend finding someone near you, such as a cousin, close friend, or colleague who speaks better English than you. The more you communicate with someone who knows much more English than you do, the more they can find errors in your speech. If you can't find someone to practice with, you can speak in front of a mirror. Ask yourself questions, answer them, use questions from the IELTS Cambridge book for practice. You should also practice part 1, part 2 and part 3 questions in front of a mirror. We also call part 3 questions follow-up questions. By doing this regularly, you will gradually gain more confidence and start speaking more naturally and fluently. I remember one of my students who practiced by asking and answering by himself. He performed well in real IELTS speaking test. Apart from practicing in front of a mirror, you can practice standing or sitting face to face with a partner, or you can practice online. Once you have finished part 2, you should move on to part 3, which we call the follow-up questions. When the examiner asks you follow-up questions, they will ask you at least 2 to 3 questions based on part 2. Apart from this, they will ask another type of questions in part 3, which we call follow-up questions. In follow-up questions, they can ask 4 to 6 questions. Examiner can choose any type of questions such as culture, tourism, education, marriage, or the advantages or disadvantages of the internet. In these follow-up questions, they will ask you to express your opinion on various subjects and to make comparisons. For instance, they may ask you to compare two different things or to predict future trends. In short, the question will focus on comparisons, predictions, and opinions. You should learn 3 to 4 structures for making comparisons, predictions, and opinions. Now, let me provide you a few example sentences for each of these categories. For comparisons, number 1, I think that studying abroad is more beneficial than studying in one's home country because of the exposure to different cultures and languages. Number 2, living in the city is more convenient than living in the countryside. Now, let me make 2 sentences for making predictions. Number 1, in the future, I believe that artificial intelligence will play a significant role in our daily lives, making tasks easier and more efficient. Number 2, it is likely that more people will start working from home even after the pandemic is over. Now I am going to teach you how to make sentences expressing your opinion. Let me give you a few examples. Number 1, in my opinion, learning a second language is extremely beneficial. Number 2, personally, I think that the government should invest more in renewable energy sources. Number 3, I believe that exercise is crucial for maintaining good health. Again, let me tell you more about how you should express your opinion. We can use the expressions like in my opinion, I believe, personally I think, from the perspective. Finally, I would like to advise you to use compound sentences when answering follow-up questions. Compound sentences help provide longer and more detailed answers. Let me give you an example and demonstrate how to use a compound sentence. Questions. Do you believe that students should focus more on academic subjects to ensure their future success, or should they spend more time on extracurricular activities to develop a well-rounded character and essential life skills? Answer. I believe students should focus more on academic subjects to ensure their future success, as it equips them with the necessary skills for their bright careers. However, spending time on extracurricular activities is equally important, as it helps in developing a well-rounded character and essential life skills. Additionally, when you are appearing for the IELTS speaking module, it is crucial to maintain good eye contact with the examiner and demonstrate a good body language. Eye contact shows confidence and engagement, while good body language enhances verbal communications, builds trust, engages the listener, boosts your confidence, and helps in forming emotional connections. Before concluding this YouTube video, I would like to thank you all for watching. If you found this video helpful and want to stay updated with my latest content, please subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell so you never miss an update. Finally, I want to let you know that I teach IELTS and PT classes at various consultancies at Chavel and Bagh Bazar in Kathmandu, as well as online. If you wish to enroll in my classes, feel free to contact me directly. I charge a fee for these sessions and can provide you with all the details regarding the schedule, pricing and curriculum. Contact us. At last, I would like you to call me on my cell phone. If I am free when you call, I will gladly entertain your phone call. If I cannot respond your call due to my hectic schedule, you can call on the aforementioned number to get the necessary informations about my online and physical classes.